to stamp your voice on football. So welcome back. Uh, Busy weekend of football that we had. So a lot has taken place that I think we can talk about, maybe comment on. So first of all, I think yesterday Victor Osimhen who got an offer, loan offer to Galatasaray, and he has a club, and he's been saved from what would have been like one of the biggest transfer chaos ever, because he risked staying for almost 6 months without a club. This could have been dangerous to his career. So yeah, I think it's nice that he has a club. And what is interesting that in this move, initially Al Ittihad wanted to buy him. I think it wasn't on loan, I think so, but it looks like he preferred to stay in Europe, and Galatasaray actually had to negotiate with Napoli for a reduced release clause from 130 million euros to 70 million euros. So there is a possibility that when this ends, then Osimhen will have a reduced or lower uh, release clause. And I think one of the things that put so many clubs away was his really monstrous release clause, and I don't know why they do this. So 70 million euros is something most clubs can reach, and I hope that he is going to do well in Galatasaray. It's not one of the strongest leagues in the Europe, but at least it's a league that he'll be assured of playing, and the fans there loved him. You could see how they welcomed him. 4 a.m. At night in Turkey, these guys were awake, really waiting to see him. So we're wishing Victor Osimhen all the best, and we hope that him and his agency can clear all these messes that they almost found themselves into. Another one that hit the headline was Kylian Mbappe finally scored on his new club, Real Madrid. Finally, he scored a brace. One of them was through a penalty where Vinicius selflessly decided to give him pass to him the penalty, and Carlo Ancelotti was proud of the decision that Vinicius made. And Vinicius is a big boy in Real Madrid. Is like the rooster now, but with the oncoming of Kylian Mbappe, so his position kind of these are two big players that will be competing, whether they like it or not. They will be competing for dominance to be the main man in this uh, club that has got a lot of Galacticos. So for me, Vinicius giving the penalty to Kylian Mbappe, for me, was like he was passing over uh, the baton, because no doubt Kylian Mbappe is the biggest player here, regardless. So soon you will see Kylian getting integrated most in the club, having more roles. Some players having to resign or to give him some of the roles that they have traditionally had. Just like, for example, the penalty that was uh, handed over to him. So that is one of the roles that Kylian Mbappe is going to have. So uh, 2 goals for him in a single game, that's good, that's morale boosting. So I think it kind of welcomes him to the club, like he has arrived in Real Madrid, and we expect to see more goals from him, more involvement, and especially when people had started complaining, and some Real Madrid fans, and even opponent rival fans comparing his arrival to being of less significance or less impact, like Eden Hazard. Some of them, you remember players like Luka Modric when they arrived. I think Luka Modric was at one point voted the worst La Liga signing, but look at who he became for Real Madrid. Real Madrid has never had, uh, in at least for most, is one of the best attacking players and midfielders that they have had, but he started slow and then picked up. So we expect also Kylian Mbappe's trajectory to take this kind of path. Another big one and a little bit sad, especially for Arsenal fans, is Mikel Merino's injury, which it was announced officially that he's out for 2 months, 60 days. He was a new signing, and as a new signing, Arsenal fans expected him to come right straight into the action because his services are greatly needed in the midfield. And then he comes and then he fractures his shoulder, and then after assessment and diagnosis, it's said that he's gonna be away for 6 months. So this is disappointing for Arsenal fans, and especially to Mikel Merino. I hope it doesn't really kill his morale. We hope he can come back and bounce back. But this is not the way we, as football fans, who expect to see players getting into new clubs. Despite of which clubs we support, we always want these players fit and healthy. So Arsenal were poised to have one of the best midfielders in Europe starting their season with them, but now it's not gonna happen. And uh, look at how, for instance, look at Arsenal's current squad right now, the red card to Declan Rice. I think that is where Mikel Mourinho would have gotten into this squad, but now that's not going to happen. So Arsenal are short. They are one of their most important player uh, booked, suspended for the next game, which is a North London derby. So you don't want to miss players like Declan Rice out of the North London derby. So Mikel Mourinho would have filled this gap. So it will be interesting how, if Arsenal decides to appeal Declan Rice red card. If they don't, then it will be interesting to see how Mikel Arteta resolves the midfield problem or crisis that they're likely to have. Perhaps maybe this is the time when Zinchenko will get into Arsenal's midfield. Oh God, I'd love to see him in the midfield once and for all, because he's been good at it. He plays sometimes for the Ukrainian national team. He plays in the midfield, so he knows how. So probably Arsenal may not really have a problem because they have players to do that. So that's another one that we will be looking out for during, as the players go for the international break. We will see how Arsenal are coming back. Another one that is interesting to look at also that happened is Casemiro. Casemiro had a horrible game in the derby, Liverpool coming to Old Trafford, and then Casemiro having to make two blunders that led to Liverpool's, and all of them led to Liverpool's goals. So big player that he is, with a massive CV, massive trophies won, and then he's been having his football has been dwindling, and it's a concern for Manchester United, for the fans. And then you see, fans went on to social media really criticizing him, negative reviews about him. Remember Jamie Carragher, for instance, the pundit, saying that you have to leave football before football leaves you, and this Rio Ferdinand said that his colleague was being disrespectful to Casemiro, who has a massive CV, and Casemiro's wife also posted an image of trophies that her husband has won, kind of to remind people who her husband is. And it's interesting that Manchester United already have maybe a solution to Casemiro's problem in case he goes down, in case his performance reduces. Manuel Ugarte just arrived at Manchester United, so probably this will be his moment to come and fill and the deficiencies caused by Casemiro. But at the age of 33, Casemiro is going down. There is no more improvement that can come from inside naturally. That's the law of nature taking place in football for athletes like him. So let's see how it goes. Again, another still on Manchester United, the coach or the manager, Eric Ten Hag has stood by Casemiro, and again he still insists that as Manchester United are still doing fine, like I said before, is always this coach who doesn't want to admit that there is a problem. So again, he was defensive of his tactics and his kind of play. And the board have this after the 3-0 loss at Old Trafford, his future is being discussed among the public, the media, and the fans, and the board, Manchester United board, the new uh, management under Ineos have decided that they are backing Eric Ten Hag. So we hope that maybe something may come out. So yeah, so those are some of the things that happen, and we hope as players go for the uh, international break, we hope that they come back healthy and less injuries, they stay fit and all that. So we will be talking more over the week about what is going on in football, even from international football we shall discuss. But I would like to hear your comments about uh, some of the highlights of the weekend and early this week about the game. So put your mouth where football is, stamp your authority, talk to me. Yeah.